right, we're gonna try to be younger and hipper and cooler, so we're gonna say like a lot more.
Okay,
like,
so
okay, like totally.
Yeah, like
All right, so this is what we're gonna like.
like yeah, like
Yeah, like yeah,
like giga-like.
like
Wait,
a big friggin' like
big, juicy, thick, like
thick, like a friggin' when you take like those like giant cucumbers.
I was gonna say like when you take a
say-
bullfrog
say when
and
you
stick a whipped cream container in its mouth.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? I think you are a terrible parent if you don't let your kid fill a frog's mouth with either whipped cream or what was it, the fake cheese that you can put in a can?
Cheese.
What's it called?
I think it's called
Cheese whiz.
Yeah,
cheese whiz. Stick that in a frog's gullet
Fill it
and
with
say
frog-
croak on that.
Have you ever had a dream where you?
Okay, but the point
when you were
is
standing
that
in the
recently.
universe, knowing exactly what.
Okay, so recently, Donald Trump was in court, I guess.
So Donald Trump, for those of you who don't know,
Apparently he was in court for months. I think there was a jury or something.
there is okay. So this Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
Trump was a big deal. Okay, not everybody knows who Donald Trump
He was
is.
a
So I'm
little
gonna break
bit
it down
before
real
our
quick.
time,
He was a little-
so we don't really know him.
Maybe
that
if you're a
well.
Zoomer, a millennial, a Gen Zer, you might not know Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So let me break it down. He was a rich guy back in the day, still is, and
Yeah, he's
well,
got-
frankly, he had a little bit of problems with the justice system.
Donald
Or should I
Trump-
say the justice system had a problem with him?
He makes over minimum wage. I know that for sure.
Whatever the minimum wage might be. But the point is, for those of you who don't know, Donald Trump, he was he had a little job called president, okay?
Okay.
And
I
feel like I'm not adding the context I meant to.
I guess the point is like, okay, the president of what? Right.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
So Trump. Wait,
Trump was in court. A
was
bunch
in-
of
he was-
freaking retards walked in there and said, "That guy looks like he'd bite the head off a squirrel." Duh. And then they
Yeah.
did some stuff.
And then they got a judge who worked for Trump's enemy, and they basically made him to be a felon.
Basically,
they convicted him
They
to
said,
be a felon.
"Trump, we're going to make you the villain we always wanted you to be." And then he said, "Okay, I guess that's kind of cool." I would assume he was okay with it because, I mean, consent's the most important thing, isn't it? But
Well, that depends on what the situation is. Now, what this is all leading up to is
you guys have all heard about the Trump court thing. We're not going to recap it. This is what we're actually talking about.
this is from the Democracy Docket. I saw this on X.
Democracy Docket, or some call it the Double D.
And they made a post. His name's Marc Elias. Maybe I'll show his face if I feel like searching for his image.
Don't get the wrong Mark.
Oh, this is him right here. Wow. Marc Elias.
Look at that goiter.
I have no idea what he looks like. Okay. Donald Trump is plotting his next crime. He is. That is what he is doing.
He's teaming up with the Joker, the Penguin, and Lex Luthor, and they're gonna team up, and they're gonna kill Batman. He's plotting his next big bank heist. Trump, listen, guys, if there's one thing I know about Trump, he's dangerous. Have you ever seen that man in the ring?
Yeah, he'll tackle you down, punch you in the
He'll
head,
tie
then
you to a
shave your
chair
hair
and
off.
Yeah, he'll shave your friggin' head. And he'll take your hair and he'll eat it, and it'll grow out of his own head. That's how he keeps his luxurious locks so dense.
Yeah.
Trump's plotting his
Like
next
you feel the
crime, fellas.
coarseness of like corn husks.
Have you ever felt the corn hair?
I'm gonna stop after each paragraph, I guess, until we get to the end of this.
I'm never stopping.
In 2016, Trump seemed to pull an inside straight by narrowly winning Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin while losing the popular vote by 3 million. We now know Trump committed 34 felonies to win that election.
Hold on. Wait a second. So basically,
In basic terms, with an LY at the end.
that's just how you're going to open the article.
I guess that is what he's doing.
Trump won using the Electoral College, but now he was convicted on a bunch of felonies, so that's why he won.
Here's the thing. I
thought Russia. I thought it was Russia, though. Wait a second. I thought
Yeah,
Russia.
what happened to Russia?
Hey! You sit down. I thought Russia. Hold on.
Wasn't it Russia?
What about Russia, guys? I mean,
Apparently, it
come
was
on.
these 34 felonies that. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be real. What were the felonies? What did he do? Wait, what did Trump do?
Listen.
I mean, I know he
I don't want to make
committed felonies,
I'm pretty sure it has something to
But-
do. Listen, I'm not just want to point fingers.
but they didn't say anything about him actually
listen, I'm
doing anything on purpose.
not pointing any fingers. But I heard one of the felonies was that he. You know, after the entire trial and all that, the conclusion was that Trump stole the 2016 election. Obviously, that's
Yeah.
what it all is all about.
Now, keep in mind that we can't even talk about the 2020 election. We're not allowed to. But you can rag about 2016 all you want, just so everyone knows.
Well, here's
Anyways,
the thing. Trump stole the 2016 election. Let me just figure this out. Let me play this out. Okay, so Trump 2016 will happen.
Yeah.
The Russians stole it, and then Trump stole it 24 more times, or was it 26?
I think maybe it was 25.
He stole it 25 more times, according to this jury of his peers. Now let's just say, for example, Trump did some messed up stuff, like touching Obama inappropriately.
Okay, yeah.
Trump,
Without these crimes, he seems almost certain to have lost to Hillary Clinton. Nothing really suggests that, but we'll
like,
give him the benefit of the doubt.
He at least point to one. Listen, you don't have to pick all 35 things. They don't all have to just pick at least one and make that one connect. And then we could all sit here and go, huh. Instead of just being like, Trump stole it in a million different ways. You know, he killed, he after murdering 3 of his political opponents, all that was left was Hillary Clinton, who all he had to do was get the Russians involved, and it all worked out.
She would have been sworn in on January 20th,
This
2017.
guy's like seething. He's like, she would have been sworn in. She could have been my goddess. But instead, Trump stole it.
She would have filled 2 Supreme Court vacancies and enacted her
Well, hold on.
legislative agenda.
Well, hold on. I thought Trump packed the courts. I thought Trump cheated by doing that too. I thought he wasn't supposed to be allowed to fill any of those Supreme Court spots. I thought that was a big problem.
Well, I guess it's not according to this person.
Well, if Hillary Clinton did it, obviously. Listen, Hillary Clinton's pure of heart. Okay, she's the type of person where angels take off their angel will
Miss
tip his
Rodham.
halo.
Yeah.
What?
Miss Rodham Clinton.
Who is that?
Hillary Rodham
Her name's
Clinton.
Rodham.
That's her middle name. Isn't that so hot?
Rodham?
Rodham. Like pig?
Yeah, like a friggin' pig with a friggin' rod.
Yeah, like the kind you cook.
Yeah. She's friggin', her face would probably, I bet she smells like ham. I bet Hillary Clinton stinks like a rotten ham. She walks by and you're like, oh, it stinks. Hillary the Stank Clinton walk through. Oh, is that the stench of rot ham? Oh.
Apparently.
The rot ham.
Okay.
Hillary rot ham.
He says Roe v. Wade would never have been overturned. The progress made under the Obama administration would have been continued.
Hold on, the progress.
Wait, this is like.
Hold on,
so we dodged a bullet.
The progress.
Yeah, the progress.
The drone strikes could have continued.
Following a global pandemic, millions might still be alive.
Was this actually written by a demon? Our progress was interfered with. The death toll to make the ultimate pentagram of blood. But we could have summoned Satan, but
Derek,
no, Donald Trump, he had to step in and stop the demonic portal to hell from opening and us getting our complete justice over all righteousness. Evil could have been flush.
But they do say that we could have avoided millions of deaths during COVID.
Billions
if,
of deaths,
If Hillary was there
to
Queen
sniff
of
out, to
America.
inhale all the COVID and absorb it into her evil core,
Just
she could have saved us.
real quick, nothing would have changed the outcome of COVID. It's a virus.
No.
Viruses will be viruses.
Hillary Clinton would have stepped
Nothing
in
mattered.
with her friggin' goddess-like intellect.
Yeah.
And she would have broken down COVID. She would have gone, shut your mouth, you retarded scientist. I'm here to show you how to take care of things. And she would have taken the COVID and broken it into 10,000 pieces and crushed them.
Huh.
And with those pieces, the scientists could have learned a damn thing from our goddess, our queen, McQueen, Hillary Clinton. She, man, what a babe. That friggin' ham stank. Listen, I'm not going to say much, but when Hillary Clinton, when I see her little jowls quiver when she's sitting there, looking like a friggin'
jowls.
babe, All I'm saying,
All he's saying.
I'm jealous of Bill Clinton, man. That guy, man, he's got a wife. And I'm glad she has such a good husband. Like, such a pure of heart husband.
Yes.
The type of guy who understands that age is of no concern. And that it doesn't just have to be your wife. People,
Anyways, Bill Clinton, great guy.
great guy.
Let's continue.
If Hillary Clinton was president, Epstein could have, kept going. But no.
Damn it. Yeah, you're right.
Wait a second.
Think about that, everyone.
Well, he probably would have been, killed more brutally. Which I don't think anybody's against that. But it's more of a matter of, principle,
Have you ever
okay,
thought
Hillary,
of,
are you just going to kill everybody?
Just imagine.
Or are you going to stop with the main,
Have you ever-
one that we would all agree upon?
Have you ever, envisioned in your head what it would feel like to just, lay down on the ground, spread your... lay down on the ground, spread your legs apart, and then taking a straight up, axe to the groin? Because I've thought about that, and it makes me, cringe every single time I think about it.
That's what Bill Clinton feels when he's with Hillary.
Yeah, I'm sure. As we reflect on the outcome of the New York trial, we should pause to acknowledge that history was tragically derailed by Trump's felonious
Trump derailed our
conduct.
future. We were about to rewrite the Bible, but then Trump stepped in.
The most nothing felonies ever, because
Trump stole their world.
nothing was... It's funny that they convicted him, because I don't think there was any evidence that Trump did anything knowingly on purpose, which is a requirement to make someone guilty under the specific law that was broken.
It's
And
not about whether or not...
none of that was actually proven.
It's not about whether he did it or whether he knew he did it or whether he intentionally did it. The point is, Caleb,
And there was
he
no-
redirected
Wait, was there
100 million votes to himself.
Wait, was there a victim in Trump's crimes?
Yes.
Or no?
The American people.
Oh.
We're all a victim to Trump's heinous, heinous.
Yeah, I think you mean Forgot
Hillary. Probably take that all out.
that. Probably.
Edit out the last minute.
Trump continued his election crime spree in 2020.
His murder spree, run through town, guns ablazing, shooting down the non-believers of Trump's
He
golden
takes
will.
a puppy by the jaws and just breaks
He was
it.
ripping puppies in half. That wasn't even included on the felonies that won him the election. Trump stole the election. It's
crazy.
In 2012.
This time, it largely took place in the aftermath of an election he was surprised he did not win. When his frivolous legal attacks failed to overturn the results of President Joe Biden's 7 million vote victory, he resorted to fake electors, racketeering, and insurrection, which none of these details have anything to do with I guess anything, but whatever.
This bragging, after our king,
This is mind reading.
Biden slid in and saved the world.
While criminal trials in those cases have been delayed, probably because there's no evidence to show that he purposely did any. I don't think people realize, you need intent. If there's no intent, the crime's not really there.
So his intention was to steal the election. The hush money convinced the Russians to steal the election for him.
Oh.
He didn't need to do anything. All he had to do was not do.
Sorry, I'm being silly.
Because everybody knows Trump would have lost hundreds of thousands, maybe if not billions of votes, if only this story had broken and he had been convicted at the time. Mm-hmm. That totally would have changed everything. And Hillary, goddess pig hand Clinton, could have been our goddess empress, our beloved queen, McQueen. And we would have gotten to friggin' watch her vomit up eggs into cups for years. And now that Joe Biden's here, he's going to fix it all, guys. Biden just won the election 3 years ago, and he's just about to set everything right.
Yep. He's about to finally
Now that he's won 3 years ago,
something.
he's going to save the day.
Any second now. Any second. The gas prices are going to shoot down.
Listen, we're going to get Obama's, whatever that was, Obama killing people back in action. What was the thing about Obama's golden arc of rainbow love that Trump interrupted or whatever? They were saying earlier, something about that.
I thought that.
Biden's bringing it back.
Oh, wait. Paganism?
Yeah. Biden's bringing back friggin' heathens and pagans.
Yeah.
Back where we need them.
The damn pagans.
In our household.
Okay, so while criminal trials have been delayed, the evidence is overwhelming. I'm going to bet
Such as
not mentioned in this entire thing.
even
I think it's in his mind.
you could at least give us the evidence of how he would have. Okay, two things. One, I haven't heard anything about Trump's plotting his next crime yet, and two,
Yeah.
he keeps talking about how Trump somehow won 2016 because of these crimes. Because he was convicted of stealing the 26. I don't know. Not everybody knows. A lot of people think, oh, it was some like hush money thing.
Like, there's
whatever.
no way Trump actually won 2016.
The jury decided that Trump stole the 2016 election.
The jury decided. The
judge said they didn't say
the-
guilty or not guilty. Nothing like that. All they said was Trump stole 2016, and
Yeah.
I clapped. Everybody clapped.
And also for quick reference, for anyone who's like, well, there was the one juror that uses Truth Social, was debunked, didn't use Truth Social, he basically lied.
He lied to make it seem more fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here's
More
the
fair.
thing, though. But the thing is, that only proves our point that Trump stole 2016.
Yes.
And I don't need to explain why. You all know why.
Yeah.
Because
No, just like this guy writing this, he just knows.
here's the thing: it makes sense when you don't think about it.
Oh
So
yeah, it sure doesn't.
all you have to do is turn off your brain, make one of your eyes preferably kind of limp, like stop focusing on one eye, and just sort of go a little bit slack jaw. And it makes perfect sense. It's not that Trump stole 2016 necessarily. It's that he stole it from
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, and very frankly, he stole it from Obama too.
It is kind of funny that he kind of glanced over the idea that Trump stole 2016 and then immediately went on like Hillary Clinton praise. Just
How much better off we would have been if Hillary Clinton was president. Imagine how much further along we'd be right now. See what Biden gave us? Think about how much further we would already be so much further ahead if it was just Hillary.
do you know how far like upwards the prices for everything would be right now?
Like imagine, all right, you're going to get gas. You see a big, juicy $12 a gallon. Think about like that kind of like America's all about like bigger and better, you know?
We need
And
big.
I think a $12, like, or maybe even 20. I don't even care. I don't care if it costs. Like, I'm fine with sliding $100 bills in there, because, like, oh, a $1 bill. Oh, look at me. Like, why shouldn't that dollar say 1,000? Imagine how like massive you'd feel if you just like were handing out $1,000 bills.
Imagine if you could be the one person who can afford to drive your vehicle in your whole neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Like, if you're going to the store and it's like, oh, that'll be 50 cents. It's like 50 cents. You put the 2 quarters onto the counter. You're going to feel like an idiot. If they say $50, though, you look at that big $50 bill. You put it down there. You go, this is America.
And then you say, thanks for the pack of gum
Yeah, then you say thanks for the pack of gum.
for $50.
$50 pack of gum. And what's best of all is that when you're done chewing that gum, you have to swallow it, because spitting it out would be anti-environmental. And the best part is that the gum is filled with COVID vaccine fluid.
Yeah, that's what
If we
gives it
could have had-
the numbness.
That's what gives it the numbness. That's what makes your like eye go limp. It was what makes your blood just build up right in the veins. I think everybody would be happier if Hillary Clinton had won.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody,
even close.
like you'd wake up and you'd just be smiling. And
Well, I mean, whether you want to or not.
you have to smile, because the only other thing you can do is cry.
Okay.
And nothing's better than Hillary Clinton showing up to your front door and saying, you're about to die.
His defense to the Washington, D.C. criminal case hinges on a theory of presidential immunity that would allow presidents to assassinate their political opponents in staged coups.
Wait, what?
I think he's referencing AOC feeling threatened by the rioters.
It's talking about how like there's laws or whatever where the president shouldn't be able to be prosecuted like that.
But okay, whatever. At the outset of his candidacy, the media discounted his bravado that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and wouldn't lose any voters. At the time, we were told to take Trump seriously, but not literally.
But now we gotta take him literally, because they also just realized that in the same criminal case, Trump actually it's also a murder case, guys, frankly. Trump was serious. He did shoot somebody, and we all fell for it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I voted for Hillary. I put multiple ballots in there for Hillary. I kept showing up in different costumes with different IDs, and I just kept voting for Hillary. If you think I'm joking, just remember, I was 15 years old in 2016. You don't know what I was doing.
Now, let's say this. When Trump says he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, I would put that in the same category of him telling Hillary Clinton that she would be in jail. Is he actually going to do these things, or is this big talk? It's clearly big talk because he's not standing in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shooting someone to prove a point. Or he's jailing Hillary Clinton, because Trump's a good guy. He wouldn't jail his political opponents. No one does that.
Nobody would do that, especially not a sweetheart like Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, he would never have people from his administration.
No one who gargles an ice cream cone is going to be arresting their political opponents, because Trump isn't a political opponent. To them, he's a dead man, and
or wannabe dead man.
They want to make him a dead man, but if they killed him, then they couldn't really kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to dismantle Trump first before we can truly assassinate him.
Mm-hmm.
First, if I had to make a suggestion, destroy his character, Hillary Clinton.
One could say it's an assassination of character.
Well, and then after that, then you actually assassinate him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying to do this.
You do both.
I'm not saying this is what I would do or what they should do. Mm-hmm. But if I was their advisor and they wanted me to tell them what to do, and Hillary Clinton put her beautiful little hands on my hand, and she said, "Oh, please tell me what I should do to Joe Biden's big bully Donald Trump."
Mm-hmm.
Well, frankly, I would just say, hey. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know if you could use any of that.
If Donald Trump succeeds, there will be no justice for him. He will become the autocrat he promises to his supporters.
His niche little group of supporters.
Yeah.
They always act like it's like Trump supporters. His cult, like, little group of 50 or so voters.
Career criminals rarely stop unless they are apprehended and punished. Narcissistic authoritarians feed off abusing power and violating norms and laws. Sociopaths never develop a conscience.
Donald Trump is worse than all of these things.
Okay, before I even look at the next paragraph, let's see if that connects to anything. Like what he just said. I'll just keep reading until we find the connection.
So far, none of these things seem to connect.
Okay. The morning after his criminal conviction in New York, Trump gave a rambling speech attacking the judicial system and lying about the verdict, prosecutors, and judge. Buried in his remarks was this line: "I'm willing to do whatever I have to save our country and to save our Constitution."
Okay.
In an interview with Fox News, he warned that the public might not stand for a criminal punishment. He ominously predicted that at a certain point, there's a breaking point. When Donald Trump says he will do whatever he has to, he means it as a threat. When he talks about breaking points, he is threatening violence.
He's threatening to
Where's the proof of any of this? I guess this guy is just...
When Trump looks at the camera, like when he's talking to his crowd and he looks at the camera for a second, it doesn't matter what he's talking about. That's a death. Every time Trump does one of these, when he's talking, he goes, that's a signal to shoot somebody. And when Trump sort of turns his head like a little bit when he's talking, that's a signal to cut somebody's head off. Every little maneuver Trump makes is actually a death signal. That's why they call him Death Signal Donnie. Because if he's talking and you see him do one of these where he goes, and that means, and murder 10,000 people. It means, and set off a bomb. It's all very clever, but very simple, really. When Trump says there's a breaking point, when like people are going to lose their patience if things keep going the way they are, what he means is everybody should lose their patience now and start slinging stones.
Yeah.
Preferably Trump brand stones, because he's so greedy, so friggin' 500-pound greed monster who just wants to eat souls and friggin', I don't know, our big, beautiful democracy. He hasn't gotten to that yet, where Trump's the biggest threat to our democracy. I'm sure that's in here later.
Yeah, no, that's inevitable.
Listen, guys, I'm scared. When I look at Trump,
when I
look at Trump, okay, the only thing that I think is fear. My mind goes completely blank, and I shake, and I burst into a cold sweat. And my eyes go hazy, because I feel that all I'm actually looking isn't a man, but the incarnation of Satan. Who, by the way, is plotting his next crime as we speak. And he's plotting his next crime, and all they're doing is trying to arrest him. Can't they do better?
I don't know why they're not.
Like, all they're
So
trying to do is
stupid.
put him behind bars. Are they even serious? Are they even trying anything? Are they even doing anything to stop this monster?
I guess not.
They're not doing anything.
So disappointing.
Trump's getting convicted of all these crimes, and frankly, I'm scared.
It says,
And if Trump gets away with anything else, dude, our country's going down the toilet, guys, and I'm pretty sure it's because Trump was president once. Listen, guys, it's over.
I mean, we could barely handle the concentration camps he put us in during his first
Dude,
term.
I was in that camp for 4 months. The Trump concentration camps, 59.300 billion dead in the dirt. Ashes to ashes. Friggin' hell on earth. Trump's burning landscape.
And all the people that he killed.
He was
man.
shooting people on whatever
Political
avenue.
opponents, mostly.
Political opponents. He
Remember when Trump
He put Hillary Clinton's head on a pike, and we never got her as president because of that. And damn it, I'm thinking he's plotting his next crime, guys. I'm thinking it's a bank robbery. Okay, I'm gonna come out. Okay, I know we said no conspiracies today. Trump's planning a bank robbery, a train bank.
That makes so much sense.
A bank on a train. He's gonna derail a train. He's gonna friggin' put pennies.
And then he's going to try decapitating, what's his name? Adam Schiff.
Yeah, with his little pencil neck and his big watermelon head. He's gonna derail a train, guys. I'm pretty sure it's either derailing a train
Robbing a bank.
or robbing a bank, or he's just gonna straight up ignite the ozone layer. It's gonna be one of those three.
Or take a machete to Adam Schiff's head.
Or take a big juicy machete to Adam Schiff's big juicy watermelon head, which I'm sure is a seedless watermelon.
This one seed.
It's one big seed. Adam Schiff's head has a huge watermelon seed in the
There's
middle.
no juice in it.
It's just seeds.
Okay.
I don't know if any of this is even really anything at this point.
When Donald Trump says he will do whatever he has to, he means
Donald
it
Trump,
as a
they
threat.
said Donald Trump rants and raves.
Okay.
Wait till they see me.
Trump already told us he will only accept the outcome of 2024 election if he wins. He recently claimed he won Minnesota in 2020. In fact, he lost by over 200,000 votes. He is claiming that absent fraud will win New York and New Jersey in 2024. Trump is planning his next crime. We don't know the exact details,
now we're here.
but we know it involves subverting the will of the voters and undermining free and fair elections. And we know that he will spare nothing and no one who gets in his way.
They always just like Trump's like a brutal tyrant. It's
okay,
like Trump,
should we break character for a second?
What's the most? Yeah, like what's the most brutal, violent thing Trump has even actually done?
Okay, we joke about the violence and stuff.
Like,
But this guy's really starting to make it seem like he's like suggesting Trump will kill
not including
someone.
terrorists. What's the most violent, like brutal thing that Trump has ever done to anybody politically?
It was the one...
Like insult people?
The only time I can think of, and it wasn't even that bad, was when he tear gassed the protesters so he could do a photo shoot in front of something because they wouldn't leave. Again, it was tear gas. No one got hurt.
Yeah, they mean like they aren't talking like that kind of.
No one even references that.
Yeah,
thing that happened.
the
That
one
was like
case
old
they don't.
news after a week.
The one case they don't even reference it. Probably because it's probably more common than it seems. I would imagine.
That's the most.
Harsh
That's the
move
most
versus-
harsh thing that I could imagine.
most
That I
harsh-
remember Trump doing. That like on his U.S. citizens.
Thing
No
Trump
one knew
ever
what to
did.
think of that at the time. If I recall, there was like a bunch of random different opinions, and then everyone stopped caring after like a week.
So there you have it. So besides that, I guess Trump gunned down his enemies.
Yeah,
We all know when
besides that,
Trump was president, he was jailing and executing all who stood in his way.
Oh yeah.
He was the most violent tyrant that America had
He
ever
liked
seen.
to slit the throats of people by himself.
Yeah, Trump.
Like he was
And
like, no,
all right.
no, I just want to do this.
Trump
one
said,
really
"I like
quick."
having blood on my hands," and we all remember Trump with the Trail of Tears.
Yes.
Like that was obviously a big one.
that
Trump,
was a rough moment for Trump.
that was a bad Trump moment.
I mean, I'm glad he did it, but
Yeah, Trump went a bit far with that one. That was a bit violent
yeah.
as far as like the.
It was like, well, the Trail of Tears was like, it was a good move by Trump.
Like it was a good move business wise, but not like in a
Ethically
human.
speaking,
yeah, ethically,
morally, it was a
that
bad
was a big
move.
mistake. And
Big, big mistake.
and all
Could
and
have
the
handled
constant drone striking. Obviously, Trump with the Russia-Ukraine war
Yes.
That one was not a good move. The giving the money just to keep
And,
killing their own
Trump's
civilians.
retreat out of Afghanistan, that was a bad one.
Yeah,
that
Trump,
was Trump,
when he left
right?
them all those weapons and that was definitely Trump. All these things are definitely Trump. Trump also
The Holocaust.
Holocaust.
I mean,
Listen,
and when Trump,
everybody has their opinions.
and when Trump hired those guys to take out the Twin Towers.
Yeah, the Twin Towers, that was Trump's biggest mistake as far as politically. Like, I'm sure he had some advisors that said, no, it'll be great. Bad move. If I was one on his team, I would have said, Trump, let's not do the Twin Towers. Let's leave them up. Also, Trump nuked the coral reef. For those of you who don't know, Trump didn't do any of those things. And if you think he did, get out of America. You suck. If you think Trump was responsible for the Holocaust, you may actually be retarded.
You stupid retard. Already his campaign and their allies are suing states to throw out election rules to sow chaos by throwing out the rules by which elections are conducted. That was one of the stupidest sentences I've ever read.
Name one rule. All this is like Trump's doing he's doing something.
Trump's
throwing out election rules.
There is a 99.9% chance that this guy was either really high or drunk when he wrote this.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or straight up friggin'.
They are litigating to criminalize. My phone's at like 3% energy, so the screen keeps going black. I have to keep like slightly moving it just to keep it alive. They are litigating to criminalize voter registration, no proof, increase the number of ballots that are discarded and purge voters. No idea where he's getting.
It's like some weird like false interpretation of things.
Yeah,
like maybe they were like, oh, if they don't have an ID, we shouldn't count their vote. And he's like, well, you want to burn the votes of legitimate American citizens? Like, if they don't have an ID, and it's like,
perhaps most chilling, they assert a constitutional right to harass election officials and voters.
They reserve a constitutional.
There's no link to like any examples of this.
Well, Kel, the example, the proof is in the pudding.
Oh,
Trump, just look at him.
Do they mean like?
Trump
like
has a strength
the push
of
to
10
have
oxes.
more like conservatives, Republicans like watching voting.
All I know is that a fair election, in theory, would be
because I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
A fair election would be all Democrat, liberal, whatever, poll watchers. Anyone with an ID should not be allowed to vote because, frankly, you're just being a white supremacist by doing that because only white people have IDs, clearly.
According to them.
Clearly, according to them. Really, the only people who should be allowed to vote are the people in charge of the polls. And they should be able to vote for everyone, like a real democracy.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
And the dead
this
should
is
be able to vote,
America.
too.
We've gotten to a point where we can drive cars and not have to go on horses and buggies anymore. I feel like someone else should be able to vote for me now.
Yeah. I think a fair election would be one where everyone who ever was an American citizen, who may have passed, who would have voted, I think they should have government officials that are allowed to choose who they would have voted for. Mm-hmm. It may sound weird, but I think people who will exist should be allowed to vote. So I think Democrats, not Republicans, because Republicans shouldn't exist, but anyone who should exist in the future, that should be a Democrat, we should be allowed to take their votes now, and through a system, maybe we have Bill Gates do like an AI, and that'll decide where future voters would vote. Mm-hmm. And I think we'd finally achieve fairness.
If any of this gives you like this weird like hivesy like chills on your body that like make you break into a cold sweat, that's entirely normal to feel at first when you hear these things.
Yeah.
But eventually you'll become adapted to it and learn to accept it.
Yeah. You should just learn to accept things. Get vaxxed. Just learn to accept.
All right, let's continue. We're almost done with this.
Don't even breathe.
Yeah,
just accept
don't
things.
Breathe. Most importantly, for this fall, Trump and his allies are focused on empowering election deniers to refuse to certify election results. They tried this in a handful of places after the 2020 election. Now they are far more organized. Democracy is in far more danger. We called it. We knew he would talk about it.
He's going to steal democracy by making sure they count the votes on election day.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Nothing's worse than making an election, having it operate smoothly. Like a smooth election is a false
They should continue on counting votes for a couple weeks, and they keep finding votes because they're so disorganized, and votes just keep popping up as they, said in 2020, especially Pennsylvania, how they just kept finding votes every single day.
Because here's the thing, if there's a reason to add a ballot, legitimate or not, it should be added. Because numbers matter, and if you can have big number, why not take big number? If Biden says, as he friggin' suckles on an ice cream cone, if Biden can go with his ice cream cone and say, I need a lot of more votes, if I'm going to win, why not just give it to him? Trump shouldn't get that because Trump already won once.
See, here's
because
the thing.
of 38 million crimes
No
that he
one's as
committed.
smart as Biden.
Biden's actually, here's the thing, he's not only smart, he's sharp as a whip.
Like,
As a tack.
on the day of the election in 2020, when Trump was in the lead by 50K votes, at the end of the day, when the votes were supposed to be, like when they were supposed to stop counting them, Joe Biden said, don't worry guys, things are looking good for us. And then in the middle of the night, when there wasn't supposed to be any vote counting at all, they dump 200,000 votes in 3 crucial states, the ones that Trump was leading Biden by, at, 3 a.m. or something like that, when there was supposed to be no counting.
Yeah.
The point is, Biden was smart enough to know that things were going to turn around for him miraculously in the middle of the night when no one was looking.
That's straight up,
He's like a wizard.
that's genius on display. That's foresight. It's almost like a Hillary Clinton effect. Or any of those people.
Yeah.
Like if Hillary Clinton says, hey, I think something might happen to Epstein in prison, and he dies by obviously suicide. You got to think about how smart she must be to have predicted that. Not that she predicted that, but she probably knew. She's like, because she has that kind of wit. And Biden's brain is clearly dense with knowledge. And if Biden says, I'm winning, he's winning. Biden looks into your eyes and says, you're dead. Odds are your head's flying off your shoulders.
He said things are looking good for him when they weren't at all.
When Biden says, just like we drew it up, he means it for everything.
What was it? The guy in Pennsylvania who said, don't worry, no matter what, Biden will win after all the votes were counted. Trump was ahead by like 200,000, but as he said, as the votes came in, Biden will win. He guaranteed it.
Yeah. Just imagine you're playing Mario, and after you fall off the screen, you can just keep running.
Yeah.
You would always be a winner, and that's what Biden did. He made it so he can always win, and I think he's just brilliant for that.
Yeah.
I think he's done nothing but good for our country by doing so. He's only made people feel better about everything.
Like, feel good.
Like when I see all the government systems, all I can think is, I'm glad they'll all work the way Biden wants them to, because that guy's sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp as a tack. Quick as a friggin' horse on steroids, I imagine.
I think it's supposed to be quick as a whip.
Yeah, quick as a whip. When you look into his eyes and you see that black void, you know it's the black void of knowledge.
Yeah.
Think about like the friggin' cojones you gotta have to take a dump out in public where everybody can see you on D-Day.
Too
Point
bad-
is,
too bad he
when the
didn't.
old man squatteth, the old man taketh. I don't know.
Too bad that wasn't true. I wish.
What?
Him taking a dump.
Well, it's never been confirmed that he didn't. I'm not saying Biden took a dump.
He
in
did
public.
squat for a chair. There was a chair
Yeah, he
behind
squatted
him.
for a chair. He totally didn't take a dump. He totally wasn't pushing. He totally didn't have that look. He's definitely looking for a chair. If I'm looking for a chair, I would just be like, oh, there it is. Joe Biden, though, this is how he gives it away. This is how he plots his genius. He goes, that's how you know that guy's got guts.
Okay, this time Trump will have more willing accomplices, more committed conspirators.
I hope so.
Rather,
I mean,
rather than a misfit band of lawyers and a handful of sycophants, this time he will have nearly every Republican senator, congressman, governor, and state attorney general at his disposal. His grassroots army of followers is more primed to take extreme action, including violence.
including murder.
Is it? I feel like it should be, I don't know if it should be a crime, but to tell people that someone is going to commit a crime against you that you have no idea what it is. Isn't that
Yeah, I don't
some
think you're
sort of
supposed to be
inciting?
Yeah, you're kind of like,
I don't know what this guy's going to do, but he's going to commit violence on you. So you better be
Yeah.
afraid and stuff, get your guns ready. So as soon as you see these people, you can shoot
it's
them.
almost like doxing everyone.
Yeah.
It's like being like, all of these people, everybody in this group, they're very likely to be violent. And then being like, and not just in this group. Like, we're not talking race, gender, whatever. We're talking like a very specific type of person is very likely to listen. All I'm saying is that they're a threat to our democracy.
Yeah, he keeps throwing out like Trump is violent and just violent.
His supporters are violent. Everything we know about them.
To the next crime, it says we don't know the exact details yet, but it involves subverting the will of the voters.
We're still coming up with the details of his crime. We're still making up his next crime. We'll get to you once we figure it out. It's like how they find the votes. They're like, we're not sure how we're going to get the votes, but they'll turn up. We're not sure what kind of crime Trump's going to commit, but we're sure to turn it up. It turns out in 1990, whatever, Trump
we don't know
actually
exactly what happened, but we're going to convict him as guilty anyways. Same thing.
It's almost like saying not that he's going to commit his next crime, but we're going to find his next crime before he commits it.
Yes.
And he'll have already committed it. We'll get him for it.
Yeah.
I wonder how much, like, wouldn't it be funny if they frame something like crazy? Like, there's like a dead body found like a lake, and they like frame Trump for it.
Link it. Like Trump was there at the day they found it or something.
And they find his fingerprints on the body. Like, they just go like full movie, framing the president for a murder.
That would be something.
That'd be next level.
Okay.
The problem is, though, if you mess that up, you really give away your whole hand, really.
Meanwhile, too many elites in politics and the media insist that the threat is overblown. Over expensive wine and canopies, they denounce partisanship as the real evil. They take pride in seeing two sides where there is only one, shades of gray where there is only black and white. They smugly ignore the possibility and consequences if they are wrong. If Donald Trump succeeds, there will be no justice for him. He will become the autocrat he promises to his supporters. The rule of law and democracy will be irreparably damaged.
And the last sentence.
What? This is the last sentence. Trump is plotting his next crime. We must do everything we can to prevent it. This feels illegal. What I just like.
Yeah, it feels like does this article at any point ever specify what he did do or what he ever will do?
No.
It's just vague. Like Trump said things that probably meant other things. Trump's going to do things that'll definitely be a big deal, guys. We gotta stop Trump before Trump does what? Before Trump commits more crimes, guys.
Yeah, this is like this whole thing sounded like a violent drunk rant that might be illegal.
These are the types of people where it's like, oh, Trump's been convicted for crimes. It's like, well, crimes. Imagine if you went to if you were a part of the jury in a court or whatever, wherever there might be a jury. If you're a member of a jury and all they tell you is that a crime has been committed. And you're just like, oh, wow, a crime has been committed. Mm-hmm. If you heard that somebody was going to commit a crime, you would definitely not ask what kind of crime. You'd just say, oh, wow. Yeah. So if you had a friend who went to jail, you said, well, what did he go to jail for? And all you were told was, well, he committed a crime. You'd be like, wow, that explains everything.
Yeah.
So when I hear that Trump committed a crime, that instantly tells me everything I need to know. He murdered, he pillaged, he plundered, and everything else that falls into the category of crime. He definitely committed a crime. And he'll commit more, and he's probably plotting his next big crime, just like the last crime the very specific crime that he committed. He'll do another very specific crime, which is a crime.
A big one, too, because crime. Trump likes things big.
Like, stealing democracy isn't really the crime. That's more of the result of the crime.
Yeah.
Stealing the 2016 election, as we all know he clearly did, based on the crime that he committed, which was a crime.
Well, that's it. Marc Elias, that was not one of your better moments.
Frankly, I can't imagine this is a person that has any soul.
I gotta look up his face.
Yeah, he's probably...
It's gonna be the last thing.
This guy's gotta be like... This is somebody that nobody likes being around. This is the type of guy where he's so out of touch with reality.
This guy has 832K followers.
Wow.
Which include Hillary Clinton. Charlie Kirk follows him, of course. Oh, he's the founder of the website that we just read from.
Oh, wow. So he's like getting really involved because, Trump's about to nuke half the country, I would assume. I mean, it said he's going to commit a crime.
Yeah. This guy's definitely not the face of a sane-looking person.
Well, I was right about the goiter.
So he's very unhealthy looking. You can tell there's his brain's clearly not there.
Yeah, you know what he kind of almost looks like? He almost looks like he's like Alex Jones. Like they tried to like make an evil clone of him and it turned out just like awful.
Well, I mean, if we're talking turning Alex Jones into the polar opposite clone version.
Yeah, where it's like,
I guess it's perfect.
No, they're like let's clone him and make like a completely evil, like twisted version of him that has no bearing on reality. Well, what I learned today is that Trump's plotting his next crime, and he already committed 36 or whatever crimes to steal the election from Hillary Clinton, who should have been president if Trump hadn't botched it.
You can see the deadness in his eyes. Remember, the brain is connected to the eyes. You can see his eyes aren't really seeing much.
This type of guy who chews carrots with his lips.
Like, what? He's not looking at anything. You see the dark circles around them. Severely malnourished person whose brain
Somebody
is
who sits in the
not
dark
working.
and waits for the next message about how bad Trump is.
It's kind of funny. I got a comment from someone who was complaining about us making fun of people for their looks.
I don't
And
care.
I was thinking of not... Well, I don't either. I was like thinking, well, this next video will avoid that, but here we are. Yeah, his eyes don't see anything.
I'll stop making fun of people's looks when they stop making fun of our looks. But I probably won't.
The end.
The end.